Hello, all of my fellow nerds out there. This is Oracle Nerd Richie, and welcome back to Lake of Voices. So last episode, we're left with a choice. The choice to either keep our current formation, or if we'd like to just move up. And the thing is, it's a time. The reason why I'm on the load screen is because it's a timed event. So so it so the event is timed, and we only have a certain amount of time to react. And I'm not really sure if I'm not really sure how much either choice will change the story. And initially, I clicked to just move for our character to move up, but that was an accident on my end. I obviously did not mean to click that. Hmm. Jeez, but now, I would like to continue from the choice that we have, from the choice that we could that we can make, and I've decided that we should get that the current formation worked pretty well already, so we're gonna be going with the current format.
So you're staying behind?
Seems like it.
Yes, I think we'll be good here. But really, thank you. That was a very kind offer.
Well, alright.
Margaret respects her decision and trots ahead a bit to catch back up with the guide. He who has paid no mind to the entire affair.
So, I don't want to sound like a child, but how much longer until we arrive at the halfway point?
Margaret chuckles, reflecting the amusement I don't want to vocalize.
We still have some ways to go.
Damn.
I suppress my laughter. Yet again as pouting response. The gloom we've been under dissipates slightly, like a light flickering through the fog.
The first trial tends to be the most difficult. I believe we will only react better from this point on.
I like the way you think.
Then a gleam enters Bamele's eyes. He grins.
I think Kika deserves a round of applause. Her quick reflexes are owed the utmost appreciation.
He leans softly into my shoulder, trying to get me to...
It was indeed a sight. You're quite capable. Bemele was also a sight, but for very different reasons. The way he froze with his mouth all agape was a laugh in itself.
Bamele shakes his fist at Margaret in mock anger, then shoots me an affectionate look.
You should know, she and I are usually on equal footing.
The only reason you had footing at all is because she pulled you back.
Bamele laughs self-consciously, scratching his head.
That's very true. You can always count on Kika.
I keep my eyes steadily ahead, unsure how to I should respond, and pleased, almost grateful to hear what they think of me. But I don't know what I could say that wouldn't seem pathetic. Instead, I contribute the best way I can. I keep my focus on the path ahead of us. Without a response from me, the conversation quickly dies out. Still, it eases my heart to be on such friendly terms with my companions. For some time, I noticed Margaret isn't keeping up with the guide as much as she was before. I realized it's because the guide had increased his pace. Weber begins to jog in an effort to keep up with him. Bamele and I do the same. Despite this, the guide keeps getting further away. We go faster and faster until suddenly we're full on sprinting across the slickened wooden boards. The figures in the dark fog fly past us in a blur. It occurs to me that the branching paths in the bridge appear to be sinking. I try hard to swallow my rising panic. The guide shouts something, but it's drowned out by the frantic pounding of our footsteps. I'm trying to piece together what he said. Don't stop, turn. When he takes a masterful massively sharp right down a different path. Path using his own momentum, and the sleek wood to slide into the new direction with no loss of speed. Margaret must not have worked out the warning either, as she completely caught off guard by the guide's changing course. She runs straight ahead, past the turn, and continues down the path we've been following up until now. She clumsily begins to halt her momentum down the wrong bridge. Then I come upon the fork. Turn! I make a hard turn, following the guide and leaving Margaret at the rear. Melee's footsteps stay as loud as they were before. He's made the turn as close behind me as ever. Out of one of my eyes, I see Margaret turn around and try to come back to us, only to have the bridge in front of her fall away. I slow down for a breath, feeling an impulse to turn back, but ignore it. There's no time. Margaret can make the jump, and then she'll rejoin us. I'll keep my eyes glued on the guy's back, ears perked for Margaret's footsteps approaching behind us. Then I hear it. Scream. I whip around, sliding to a stop. Margaret is sinking. The bridge she is on is sinking into the water. She's disappearing. She didn't jump.
What are you doing?
Margaret's head shoots up, her face drained of all color.
Jump!
She stumbles near the edge of the bridge, staring at the placid water of the lake. Even from a distance, I can see her shaking. I can't say if this is from the bridge's descent or her own fear. She barely seems to remain standing. I swallow painfully. Margaret bends and tries to jump. She curves a small arc, achieving more height than she should, and lands directly in the lake with a muted splash. Oh fuck. Melee starts beside me, but I grab his hand and pull. We start running and leaving Margaret flailing in the water behind us. We don't need to watch this. We both know exactly what will happen to her now. No! Wait, would it have been better if I just did nothing? Margaret's anguished cries pierce the night, then the screaming stops. My legs grow weak. It isn't right, but I push myself to keep going. Melee curses between heavy breaths, calling those things every foul name in his large book. I try to focus on pounding my feet, but my brain won't cooperate. Instead, I imagine Margaret's terror as she's clawed to pieces by the Nixie. After everything, I didn't help her. We left her in the dark. No, is there a way to save her? As the night wears on, our strength rapidly fades. How much longer will this last? People have to rest sometime. Almost as if in response to my thought, the guide abruptly halts. I skid to a stop as well, sliding the surface of the wood.
Why did we stop?
Millie's voice is too tired, but his guard is up. The guide doesn't answer, just stares at something slightly out of view. I step up to join him, following his gaze further down the path. Oh? Who's this? There, curls in a ball, illuminated by a lantern light, cowers a person. His hand gripped at his head. He rocks from his side, mumbling incoherently.
It's a man.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't. I just couldn't. Please. I'm sorry.
I'm stuck with an array of questions. What is going on? Why would he wander out onto the bridge on his own? Did he make it this far by himself? Were there others with him? If that's somehow the case, I can't blame him for the state of shock he's in. The man stops mumbling. He glances above him, seemingly only just now having the strength to lift his head. His expression is deepest sadness, along with the clear markings of terror scrawled across his face. I stare at him in shock, not sure what to do.
Leave him.
Stand is away from the man. Instead, the guy's cold, implacable face.
No! We can't just leave him here. Without light, it's certain he'll die.
He won't make it regardless.
The guy turns to look at us, his eyes seemingly to glow from the closeness of his lantern. For the first time, I feel uncomfortable in his presence.
Whoever shelters him will only risk dragging themselves down with him. Leave him.
I glance at my partner, but Melee is
If the man comes, then whoever is shielding him will have to remain at a distance from the rest of the group. Far enough that you can't see me, just my light. That is how you will travel across the bridges. I didn't agree to lead this man, and I won't. If you ask me to, I will leave you all behind.
Shit. Well, I feel like a choice is coming up. Oh wait, no, that's what happens when I pick the other choice. Okay, I'll come back to the other choice later then. You know, when we decide to move up instead. Okay, return. Adrenaline surges through my veins and it tenses up. It's a painful reminder that the guide isn't here to save our lives, but merely to show us the way. We're on our own. Vanilla and I frantically share more looks between each other, trying to communicate without words. Neither of us have a desire to speak and be the first to make a choice. The man is standing now, though still hunched with his arms wrapped around himself, as if expecting a blow. He stares at the ground rather than at us. Because of this, I'm having trouble reading his face. What exactly happened to him?
Are you well, stranger? Do you know where you are and why you're here?
He glances up, not at me, but towards me, his eyes resting somewhere near my collarbone.
I'm fine. You all can go on your way. Forget you even saw me here.
That's absurd. You have no way to defend yourself. We can't leave you.
Yes, I'm sure in your eyes I might not seem like much, but that's not exactly a fair shake. Maybe in a perfect world, every man would be as large as you. But that's not how things always go. Doesn't mean I'm defenseless.
The man's response is meandering. The words themselves seem to be in good jest, but he's still barely looking at us, fidgeting with his hands. Amelia frowns, unimpressed.
It was a joke.
He smiles hesitantly, making eye contact with each of us for the first time.
What part of it was supposed to be the joke? Do you even realize what is happening in this moment?
Never mind. Forget that too. Point is, I'm alright.
You have found yourself out alone and unlit on Sinlos.
Exactly. Something must be wrong with you.
Oh no, sounds like you've been talking with my father.
He lets out a weak little laugh, coupled with his eyebrow raised, voice trembling. No one really knows what to make of this. The man gives a small wave and begins down the path we came. Amelia huffs, tossing his hands into the air.
That's not even the right way.
It is for me.
Oh? You must have come quite a ways if it was the other shore you started on.
The man's smile grows.
Good. That's not so bad.
There's no response on this remark, unsure of what could be said.
I still think he should come with us. A person needs a light, and the guide himself said he won't be able to manage on his own. Sticking with us is his best option.
I look over the man's body, noting the scrawniness in his limbs. Scrawny, but not necessarily lacking in muscle. The bravado he was showing as he tried to leave us has faded yet again. Now he's standing quietly looking at us as if watching a play. Interest, but no true connection to the events.
It's easy for you to say such things, but whose light are you offering? It's not mine, and you are putting her in even more danger with your own presence already.
Melly's hand turns into fist. He looks away, but doesn't say anything for a moment. No one does. I feel a cold sweat on my brow as what I feared comes to pass. He's stopping us from protecting another. Why must he get involved now? Why can't he not just leave us to make our own decisions?
You... Don't worry about me. I'll be on my way now.
The man's voice is full of something I cannot place, and he starts to shuffle back down the way he came, arms still clenched around himself. I know the guy wants to act as though there's no option. However, I could stay back with him. Above Melanie and myself, it's significantly more risk, but at least this man will stand a chance. versus another freaking choice. So put out a hand to stop him or do nothing. I mean, wouldn't just running out of time also mean just do nothing? Always with the difficult choices, aren't you, GB Patch? Always with the difficult choices. I guess we could probably just do nothing. Because, like, even if we did help him, we're just gonna be put at more risk, right? And the whole goal is to... And the whole thing of the game is that you can save anyone, but not everyone can be saved. So, just best... What? I didn't pick a thing yet. So, I think it's best to just do nothing. I can't risk it. Millie starts stares at the man as he leaves. We both watch him drag his little frame down the bridge, quickly fading from sight. We have to let him go. We've already suffered the loss of one of our own. The space the man vanished is too dark and silent. We can see and hear nothing of him, not even his footsteps. The guy was right. There are no other options. Well, that is what I have to believe. We need to get through this somehow, and being weighed down with guilt will only distract us. The guy starts moving again, at a quick pace. After a moment's hesitations, one last glance into truly lifeless fog, we run to catch him up with him. We walk onwards in silence. Our party hasn't changed. The stranger was never added to it, so it's not as if it makes sense to miss him. But there's a sense of loss all the same. No one even attempts mirth. I keep thinking I should have done more. I should have pushed the guide harder to change his mind so it was less dangerous to keep the man around. Something, anything. But I had to let this go. I'm not going to forget the man. I'll never forget him. But we still need to get through this. I curl my hands into fists, hoping I'll strengthen my resolve. Then I push forward. We turn down the path, and the guide stops. Ahead of us is a group of prowlers. At the sound of us, they turn their heads in unison, as if they know we were coming. I inhale. Prowlers wriggle somehow, their skin moving more slowly than it should, sliding across their skeletons. They laugh.
We cannot lose another lantern at this point. We're almost to the island.
The guy rummages through his coat with his free hand.
What are you planning?
The Millie's tone is borderline threatening, but the guide ignores him. He pulls out a small pouch, then opens the latch on his lantern.
Wait, are you going to throw that at them? What if the bridge sets on fire?
It will. We're going to run.
This is insane! These bridges are hellish enough without them also being on fire. And what about the other man? If he's still out there, this could...
He's dead. We're not losing another lantern.
He says it with such detached certainty. It's as if he saw it happen himself. No one argues with him. The guy steps closer to the prowlers. We follow in step behind him, staying close to his back. He bends his lantern back down until it is lowered to his outstretched arm. The pouch is set in his hand is set aflame. With a practiced flick of the wrist, he swings the staff back and up, and the glass on the lantern snaps closed.
Don't get left behind.
He takes 3 quick steps, then tosses the pouch. The prowlers are back in the water before the pouch even lands. As soon as it does, the fire starts to lick and curl itself around the wood. The guy breaks into a sprint, and so do the rest of us. The blaze grows despite the heavy dampness darkness from the lake. These bridges aren't normal bridges. Of course, that's true. Nothing here is right. Hopefully they won't collapse with the flames. We stay on the guide's heels, almost too close for comfort. If he stops abruptly, we'll all crash into one another, maybe even fall off the bridge. Then the world tilts. It was a mid-stride. When I put my foot down, the bridge isn't where it was. It lurches to one side, and either because it's weakened or pushed. Melly and I manage to keep her aground, as does the guide. He presses on without even bothering to see if we're able to follow. But Melly growls in frustration as we push to keep up with the guide's pace. As the storm of our feet thunder across the boards, a silver sliver begins to rise into view, just above the edge of the water.
It's the island.
The island? I squint and suddenly make out the craggy forms of land on Earth. I see it. We're almost there. Safety at long last. In sight. New energy surges through me. We push ourselves faster, longing to put these godforsaken bridges behind our backs. All at once, the bridge ends. Our entire group rushes ashore. Earth and solid earth, a haven from the water. I catch my breath, while still moving even further away from the dark shoreline. I can't believe we actually made it. Even more difficult is the area that we're only halfway done. The idea that we're halfway done. When night falls once more, we have to do it all. We had to do it all again. A heavy arm falls across my shoulder, and I strain to see Bameli smile warily at me.
Good work out there.
It's not a usual commendation of a job well done. There's sadness, perhaps even sympathy in the sentence. It ends flatly. Usually Bameli's comfort and good nature gives me at least the urge to smile, but right now it feels like a hollow victory. Despite still having the comfort of one another, we are incapable of doing any true good. We are only able to save ourselves. A quiet moment paces between us. Then the guy is there. He moves so smoothly that his steps are soft and nearly silent. His dusky clothes blend in with the thinning of the night.
The sun will rise soon. The fire on the bridge is the only reason this island isn't overrun with prowlers right now. However, they could still pose a threat.
Bameli levels an empty look with the tour guide.
Is there something we should do?
Oh, for some reason there was no voice. Come. The guide takes us to an area a bit further ahead, but not too far from the water. Trees partially obscure our location, and there's enough room to watch the coast in case prowlers start to emerge from the water. Essentially, it's a place where the ambush would be hard.
If any of you see anything at all, speak up. We don't want them to sneak up on us.
Almost automatically, each member of the group turns to a different direction. As the sky continues to fade, from a pale purple to a muted blue, the water stays silent. For the first time, nothing happens. It's a miracle. Suddenly, my chest is lighter and the air is fresher. First pricks of light appear over the horizon, stinging my eyes after such a long journey through the darkness. The sound catches my attention. I move my focus towards its direction. The guide is opening a latch of his lantern again. He gently, almost respectfully, blows out the light.
We no longer have to worry about the Nixie. It is over for today.
I'm almost unable to keep tears of relief from pouring out at those words. We made it through the night. We survived. No one feels the need to speak. We look at each other, an understanding passing between us. Then we find our own space, as comfortable as we can get, and lie down for the rest. We weren't sure we would ever come. eyes slowly blink open and readjust their brightness. What little there is, the sun is obscured by a thick layer of fog, making it impossible to estimate the time of day. I prop myself on my elbows and push myself up. The ground is hard and rocky, but that isn't the only reason why I'm eager to get on my feet. I check my surroundings. The harsh, craggy earth of the island is interlaced with twisting vines and gnarled branches. Beside me, Bemeli is still fast asleep. The guide, however, is nowhere to be seen. I realize that I don't recall seeing him lay down with everyone. It's likely he left us hours ago. There's still a creeping silence here. I can't help but shudder at the hollow, aching feeling inside of me. It refuses to relent. I shift my weight back and forth, unsure of what to do with myself. Memories of last night's harrowing journey flicker through my mind. Amelia wakes suddenly, rising with alarm. My mouth opens and shuts. After a moment of fumbling, a word finally escapes.
Hello.
Amelia gives me a gentle smile and makes its way over to me.
Morning.
A pocket of quiet descends over us. Amelia sighs. The atmosphere is weighing on him already.
We should eat something soon.
Yes.
Distinct rustling of the leaves catches my attention. The guide appears emerging from the thicket. Amelia glares at him as he makes his way over.
The Nixie will not tread on land in daylight. However, being near the shoreline is still dangerous. If you leave the center of the island, remain cautious. Before the sun sets, I will be in this area. It would be wise to meet me here before nightfall.
Why do you do this?
I sharply turn towards Bemeli as he snarls and confronts the guide.
If you had just let him follow behind us, if you had been there before, none of this would have happened. They didn't have to die.
The guide looks away, seemingly unaffected.
If all you're going to do is leave everyone to be lost, then why bother guiding us at all?
Despite Bemeli's severe words, the guide apparently considers his piece here finished. He turns towards us and he turns towards the forested area from which he came.
Wait!
Bemeli calls out the guide, reaching towards him. Before he makes contact, I quickly put his hand on his shoulder. He lowers his arm to his side, though I can still feel wrath emanating from him. We stay this way until the guide disappears in view. Bemeli begins to kick the ground, spraying tiny pieces of gravel about.
Bemeli, I know you're angry, but regardless of our feelings, we need the guide. If he leaves us, we'll all die.
And we've done so well with him?
I give him a cold glance. We won't know which bridge to take without the guide. Bemeli knows that. This needs to stop. The people are counting on us to make it back.
We can't afford to lose our way.
The anger etched into his expression fades into sadness.
I can't stay here right now.
Quietly, I speak. Oh, we have way more time this time. I guess we could probably speak with the guide, I guess. Ball my hands at the fist, steel my will, and start advancing in the direction the guide went. I push my way through the branches and reach over to the other shore of the island. I look for the guide, but he is nowhere in sight. How? Where could he have gone? I search the area without success. The island is not any way larger if I have not found him, but found him, it can only be because he does not wish to be found. I sigh as all the motivation leaves me. I think I simply need to be alone. Seems as though my wish to be alone will be granted. There's no sign that they will be returning. A cold chill somehow whips its way down my back, despite my calm air. I keep my gaze on the dark ground, taking a breath so deep it stings the back of my throat. As I steadily empty my lungs, I try to empty my mind of all thoughts. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. The thing is straightforward. I find something find something familiar and powerful in my thoughts and latch on. The mission. I have to try to focus on the mission. I need to be strong. My eyes start back up. Is someone watching? I wonder if I'm afraid of being seen struggling like this, or if I hope I may not be on my own here. Doesn't matter. There's still nothing but the Silent Island. Time seems so indefinite around me, passing slowly. On this island, it almost seems to move slow as a stagnant pond. I shake my head, burying the thought. It's irrational, but I cannot bear to think even old pond water. Gradually, my consciousness begins to include the world again. I do a few standard warm-up stretches, testing my mind and body. I don't know how long it's been, but I feel like I've regained enough of my wits to continue on. I need to make sure everything is alright. I head through the wooded part of the island. There isn't anything that could be called a path, but I managed to pick my own way through the bush quite well. Through the thinner stand of trees, I briefly catch sight of the guide standing on one of the beaches. He seems fine, but even though I'm sure he turned his head towards me, he makes no show to acknowledge me. I continue my check without heeding that. After moving, I find Bimele in a jagged clearing, leaning against a tree. He's already noticed me and is looking my way, smiling. As I get closer, I can pick up on the sadness behind his jovial expression.
How are you faring? Any problems?
Everything is fine. I came to check on you.
How kind. I've calmed down since then.
I'm glad to hear that. Is there any way I can help or anything you'd like to say?
He raises an eyebrow at that. His grin becomes markedly playful.
I didn't expect to see you so worried about me, Kika.
I have to force myself not to avert my eyes at the comment, embarrassment flowing into me. Bimele notices my reaction. He does not draw attention to it, however. Instead, he throws his arms out wide with a sour expression.
Have you seen the guide?
Bimele is clearly asking out of sense of obligation, and it makes no secret that he's not pleased about discussing the guide. I nod in response.
I saw him earlier. He is the same as always.
Good. In that case, I'm going to stretch my legs for a bit. I feel stiff from standing in one place for so long.
I bid him a brief goodbye. Bimele waves as he departs. I find that I've been pacing back and forth for quite some time. I finished my check a while ago, so now I have nothing left to do but aimlessly wander. Okay. I think this is actually a good place for us to leave off for now. I'm not sure if we're gonna reach the end of this sometime soon or not, but thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to like, comment what you think, share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.
You say you wanna try, but you never